In 2016, UNESCO launched a unique and ambitious pilot project, which encouraged schools to make climate change a priority in every part of school life.
What they did not anticipate was just how powerfully the 2-year pilot project would impact schools and communities everywhere.
This project has helped us with raising awareness about the issues that we are facing today in this world.
Our school is starting to be green. This is because people are motivated, people are educated, people are aware of the climate change.
This project helps us strengthen the bond between students and teachers.
My school is becoming more eco-friendly every day, especially because of our project. And my school is actually a big part of my community, so once my school is changing, the community is going to change itself also.
From 2016 to early 2018, 258 schools from 25 countries around the world decided to take action on climate change by engaging in this innovative project.
They are all part of the global UNESCO Associated Schools network, in short, ASP.NET, which unites 11,700 schools in 182 countries around the commitment to promote UNESCO's ideals of peace, international understanding, intercultural dialogue, and sustainable development.
The network aims to achieve these ideals by developing innovative educational content, pioneering new teaching and learning approaches, and collaborating across the globe.
The project was embedded in the wider context of the UNESCO Global Action Programme on Education for Sustainable Development.
Participating countries include 7 of the world's least developed countries and 3 small island developing states. Project schools within them also differ in their geographical location. They're situated in rural and urban settings.
Diversity is a key element to the project because it results in rich and varied understandings and actions to address climate change. In this pilot phase, it was fundamental for UNESCO to explore whether and how a whole school approach to climate change can be imagined and implemented in completely different contexts.
The whole school approach, this is the really innovative part of this project. So it's not a project about teaching on climate change or teaching about sustainable development. This project is about really trying to transform an entire school, of mobilizing every single actor in a school, but also the community around it, and trying to look at every single aspect and dimension of a school's life and try to see how we can include concerns about sustainable development and climate change in it.
From pre-primary schools to secondary or vocational institutions, from deep rural areas to the most populated cities, the project ensured that every type of school was included and recognized that everyone has a role to play. Today, nearly 240,000 students and 13,800 teachers are involved, along with thousands of others spread across communities.
What this project did, that they make all the partners of this educational team, I mean, the principal, the teachers, the administrative staff, students, parents committee, even staff at the cafeteria, even the responsible of maintenance at the school, they created a climate action team in order to brainstorm about how to implement this project at schools.
UNESCO called their pilot project Implementing a Whole School Approach to Climate Change. In a whole school approach, classroom learning about climate change is reinforced by the formal and informal messages promoted by the school's values and actions. Action for reducing climate change is included across all aspects of school life, and reducing climate change becomes everyone's priority. Students and other members of the school community live what they learn and learn what they live.
The aim to implement this project is spreading the awareness toward our community. Now our students, they became aware enough to tell their parents on the importance of recycling, on the importance of thinking environmentally before doing any action.
Les choses que l'on a le plus appréciées dans ce projet, mes camarades et moi, sont les activités en plein air, le fait de recycler des bouteilles, des pneus pour en faire un jardin suspendu et l'activité manuelle à travers la peinture qui pourra peut-être nous servir dans notre futur.
At the start of the project, UNESCO provided 2 international Training of Trainers sessions to all the ASP.NET national coordinators and 2 teachers per country, who then used what they had learned to train the other school facilitators in their countries, teaching them how to introduce and implement the whole school approach to climate change in their own institutions.
We had a national training in Uganda. We attended schools in Uganda which were rolling it out, and then I went ahead and sensitized the teachers about the whole school approach, went ahead, sensitized the students during school assemblies, and then went ahead to sensitize through those people outside the community to tell them about the whole school approach.
The Climate Change Project falls under the broader Education for Sustainable Development initiative, which is driven by UNESCO.
UNESCO has been the lead agency for education for sustainable development for quite a few years now. It has implemented the UN Decade of ESD, and then at the end of the decade, UNESCO member states launched the Global Action Program on ESD. The idea is to scale up education for sustainable development across the world, building on the learnings and the successes of the UN Decade, so that people can really, learners can really, in the everyday learning environment, they can live what they also learn about.
This whole area of education for sustainable development might seem to many schools and teachers a bit abstract. The project is specifically focused on climate change, but actually that is just an entry point into the whole thematic area of sustainable development. It's a project that wants to show every single student, but also their teachers and their families, that they can act, that everybody can make a contribution, and that however small that contribution might seem, when all these contributions come together, it is about making a difference in the world, and it is about trying to contribute to preserve our natural environment, our cultural environment, our way of living together, and of making this world a better place for everyone.
Each school had to review their existing activities on sustainable development, set up dedicated climate action teams, which included students, teachers, school leaders, staff, and local community members, and then develop and drive their whole school climate action plans.
UNESCO also developed a guide for their ASP.NET schools called Getting Climate Ready, which was published in 5 different languages. Participating countries took it a step further by translating it into many more languages in their own countries.
The whole school approach encourages schools to prioritize climate change in 4 key areas: school governance, teaching and learning, facilities and operations, and community partnerships. These 4 pillars are interconnected, and working in one also means advancing on the others.
Under each of the 4 pillars, schools achieved remarkable results, which will have a long-lasting impact. Pillar 1 saw schools changing the way they operate.
So the different areas are obviously teaching and learning, because that is what schools are principally about. But it's also about the governance system of a school. Who takes decisions? What is the role of the students? Do they have a voice? What is the role of other school staff?
If a school enters our project network of the Climate Action School, there needs to be a vote from the whole school community. And they need to vote so that they are 100% encouraged to participate at the Climate Action Project, and also that they are agreeing to transform their school landscape.
学校の運営につきましては、関係教職員のみならず保護者、地域、同窓会、近隣の学校等さまざまな方々のご支援をいただいて運営をしております。また多くの人たちのご意見を取り入れて学校の運営方針を決め、それに従って全員で取り組んでおります。
Because it is a whole school approach, it involved everyone to participate in the project. So everyone has got a role, everyone is doing something, everyone is thinking, everyone is creating.
Teachers were encouraged not just to lecture their students about climate change, but to help them research, think critically and creatively, and from a worldview that looked far into their own futures. And their thinking needed to be action-oriented. Teachers of all disciplines were mobilized beyond the traditional subjects of sciences or geography.
Essentiellement, l'intégration du changement climatique dans les différentes matières se fait selon deux entrées. Les thématiques qui sont traitées, comme la géographie, les sciences de la Terre et de la vie. Et ce sont des matières porteuses capables de facilement permettre à l'enseignant de développer des modules, de développer des exercices, des lectures pour intégrer le changement climatique à ces matières. Mais il y a d'autres matières où cette intégration est beaucoup plus difficile. On appelle ces matières-là les matières non porteuses. Les matières non porteuses, ce sont par exemple le français et dans le cas qui nous concerne en Haïti, le créole haïtien, la langue créole haïtien. Et ça, c'est pas la même chose. Il va falloir développer notre aptitude, d'autres façons de faire, c'est-à-dire développer et chercher une manière efficace pour approcher la matière et pour l'intégrer. Donc c'est la différence qu'il y a lorsqu'on fait l'intégration du changement climatique dans les matières à l'école.
As a school and a school administrator, a head teacher, I try my level best to ensure that all such programs regarding the climate change are implemented.
El otro factor tuvo que ver un poco con concientizar a los profesores que participaron dentro del proyecto en lo relativo a que no lo vieran como un proyecto, como una carga más, sino como parte de su accionar del día a día. Así que eso fue otro de los retos. Sin embargo, los resultados fueron muy favorables al final porque se vio la compenetración de los profesores y sobre todo en los resultados finales donde se pudo ver, por ejemplo, que las artes participaron, que las matemáticas participaron, que la lengua española participó. O sea, que se vio en conjunto, de manera integral, tal como se buscaba en el proyecto, que se pudiera ver unos resultados así.
I was helping calculate the power of the energy that the wind turbine makes.
We had only one major issue, which was the restricted amount of time of the students, because we did the project after school, and as everyone has extracurriculum activities, it was almost impossible to find a day where everyone would be available.
Right now, in this moment, I could be at the beach, or even better, I could be home, sleeping, but instead I'm here because I wanted to, and that's why I believe this project is successful.
As a teacher of fine art, we have very many skills, and a skill that I thought about was ceramics, whereby we are giving it to students who can use our environment. And in this, I discovered that with the ceramics project, we need glaze. And where can we extract glaze from? From the broken glasses, we recycle them. And that is a danger in our community where everyone who uses glass throws it anywhere. And now we pick this glass and we crush it into powder, and then we use it as our glaze.
Le plus grand succès du projet, c'était la relance quand même du club UNESCO qui était un peu en léthargie. Et aussi, il y a aussi l'engouement des élèves de travailler, d'être créatifs. Nous n'avons jamais touché la peinture. De par le projet, nous avons commencé non seulement à toucher la peinture, mais à faire des motifs de coloration qui sont extraordinaires. Et ça, c'était quelque chose de vraiment marquant vis-à-vis de nous et des élèves aussi.
In line with the third pillar in the whole school approach, many schools started to change their facilities and operations significantly. to be more climate friendly and make their school campuses a model of climate action.
Well, before this project, I can say people are not aware of the importance of keeping the environment clean. Before, we never had a cow shed in our school. The cows were allowed to pass around the school. They used to cut trees. People used to litter. People used to trespass. We never had grassy grounds. But as time went on, these projects have helped with that. Now everyone knows the importance of keeping the grasses green. Everyone knows the importance of having trees around the school. That's why you can see we even built a cow shed to prevent the cows destroying our environment. So it has benefited us.
Whole school approach to climate change dilaksanakan di SMK Wikrama. Kebijakan itu antara lain, 1. Kebijakan rancang bangun gedung sekolah yang ramah terhadap lingkungan, kebijakan penggunaan IT dalam rangka mengurangi penggunaan kertas di SMK Wikrama Bogor, kebijakan kantin sehat dalam rangka penggunaan lokal produk bagi seluruh komunitas sekolah.
Se ha rotulado la institución con diferentes mensajes de cómo podemos ahorrar energía, mantengamos las luces apagadas, los aires acondicionados tienen refrigerantes a base de amoníaco que son amigables con el ambiente. Las luces tenemos sensores de movimiento que se encienden solamente cuando hay movimiento, lógicamente. También otros sensores que se encienden después de cierta hora y se apagan también, lo que llaman luces inteligentes.
What we're doing here, building a school, we're taking away a part of nature. So we also have to give that part back by planting lots of trees and planting lots of vegetation.
And sometimes what is important, we can even harvest, sell some of the things
at the green market.
毎日掃除の時間にゴミステーションに立ち、生徒が持ってくるゴミがちゃんと分別できているかの確認をしています。生徒同士が協力して少しでもゴミを減らそうとしている姿勢が見られたのがとても嬉しかったです。
We have had a water filtration project, the UV filtration project, which has helped us take clean water that is filtered and without any germs. And this has prevented diseases that come up with the use of dirty water like cholera, Ebola, dysentery, and we have not had those cases around this school.
The fourth area of this whole school approach is the partnerships, and that was maybe the most important one in the impact it had. It was to tell schools to open up and to go out and look for resources, look for partners, for organizations, for individuals, for government institutions, for researchers that could help them in developing or implementing their plans, but also to take out of the school what they were actually doing in showing and telling the story, in making the students visible and public actors of their work on climate change.
The whole school approach project stretched far beyond school fences. There is a lot schools can do to help reduce climate change. However, many issues cannot be addressed by schools alone, so they started reaching out to neighborhood associations, local businesses, universities, and municipalities.
Students and community members worked side by side, learning from one another as they worked together on a common goal to make their environment better. And students' learning experiences outside the classroom helped them become more connected to their community.
I think the biggest way that I've been challenged by this project is that I thought that I was doing really good. And then Sammy would come home from school and talk about things that she had learned, and I would realize that I had a lot of room for improvement in our household to be more environmentally aware and definitely improve our impact on the environment.
So the project I was involved in, the purpose of that was to eliminate plastic bags in our school and community. So we made t-shirt bags out of old t-shirts that no one wanted anymore. And the grocery store has been empty a few times, I think, because people have taken all the bags, and I've seen people walking around town with the bags, and I think it's a cool thing that seeing something that you've made be so successful.
Sustainable development cannot be limited to the school walls. We really need to build partnerships with everyone in society involved.
Ellos llegan a la casa y eso mismo que han aprendido en la casa también lo llevan a sus padres, a sus hermanos, a toda la familia. Eso influye directamente en las comunidades porque una familia que aprende también lleva eso a la comunidad, de manera que afecta de manera muy positiva lo que es el accionar, la concientización de nuestros ciudadanos y ciudadanas dominicanos en lo que es la prevención y sobre todo lo que es también de alguna forma cuidar lo que son nuestros recursos naturales.
The school could continue to become this microcosm where new ideas can be developed and they can be innovative and creative and just try things out on a small scale. And then those solutions can be presented more broadly to the local council or at community meetings. Because if they can happen on a school scale, why couldn't they happen more broadly?
We have the opportunity to get in touch with universities that can help us get more information about the environmental issues that our country and in general the world is facing. And in a more large level, we have the opportunity to share this information and share our thoughts and concerns with the local community and municipality.
Because of this project, we came into contact with other neighboring schools that shared the same interests with us.
The impact of going out with the results and showing in exhibitions, in public talks, sometimes in the media, sometimes in science fairs or in climate conferences, sometimes in public hearings in the city government. This has been really a major impact and also what struck the schools and the national coordinators of the UNESCO Schools Network most. A single project can transform the vision of the school, both by those who are in it, but also by those who are outside and that are connected to what is happening in the world and engaged in it. That's really been this transformative approach that we had ideally hoped for, and we were so happy to see it happen.
Students, teachers, and other staff inspired and encouraged each other by sharing information with other schools in different regions and countries through the ASP.NET online tool, video conferences, webinars on different themes, visits between schools, active social media groups, and face-to-face meetings between project coordinators, teachers, and students at UNESCO events.
I have also been able to partner with 2 schools overseas, and we have learned so many things from them. For instance, from Toyota Kusen Institute of Technology, we learned that their students are the ones who clean. They don't use janitors or cleaners to clean for them. So we have also introduced that here.
So our students had the opportunity to speak and exchange their own ideas and what they have already done with students that come from other countries or even continents.
How do you think that we can promote all this volunteer work to all the other teams?
Reach out to other schools and to convince other students of the precisely of all of the good things that you have learned, of all of the good things that you perceive that you can do, and all of the impact that you can have in society.
So it was a great experience for all of us to see how climate change affects these countries and what actions they take in order to overcome the problems.
I think the most unanimous statement that came out of every single participant was We can't stop now, so what do we do next?
Y queremos que esto no solo se quede en lo que es nuestra comunidad, sino que también pueda trascender el municipio, la provincia y a nivel nacional y también de manera internacional. Esperamos que este proyecto de cambio climático no se quede solamente en libros y prácticas, sino que también se convierta en un estilo de vida, que podamos adoptarlo y otras comunidades lo hagan también y seamos seres conscientes de lo importante que es nuestro planeta para la vida.
7 participating countries, Brazil, France, Germany, Greece, Indonesia, Laos People's Democratic Republic, and Lebanon, want to roll out the whole school approach to all ASP.NET members in their countries and have already started preparing.
Based on the results of the pilot project, UNESCO will invite in 2019 all 11,700 associated schools in the world to engage with the whole school approach. For this scaling up process, the organization will make use of the rich expertise and experience that has been accumulated during the pilot phase.
ASP.NET national coordinators and school-level actors can help their peers in other countries to mobilize and transform their schools to become climate-ready in their respective contexts.
I believe as a young person it is important to play a very key role in the climate change project because the future lies in the hands of the youth. And the youth have a role to play to either destroy it or to keep it. I believe that change begins with an individual, and as an individual, I believe that I should be empowered to protect the environment.
From my school, I hope that our program continues on and spreads around the world so people can actually know the importance of keeping the environment clean.
We will be the ones that will probably save the planet in the near future. So I think it is very, very important to be informed about them.
There is an enormous wave of optimism that comes out of a project like this because you see that people are interested to engage themselves and ready to do things.
And that schools in a very short time can be transformed so that they motivate and empower students to change their behavior and take action for the planet.